Here's everything you need to know about the D-Rose 1.5 Restomod before you buy. Also, stay tuned to the end of the video to find out details about what's been going on and what new content will be coming to the channel here shortly. So, for the guys of you who don't know me, Crazy Black 108, do a whole bunch of content featuring D-Rose and talking about all of his shoes and mainly providing reviews of that here on this channel. So, that's the update for anyone that doesn't know. For the people that do know, you already know why you're here. We're going to talk about this shoe right here. Well, not this shoe right here, but this shoe right here's colorway that's being retroed in a Restomod this Wednesday. So according to Nice Kicks and a couple other places online, the D-Rose 1.5s are getting the Restomod treatment and are being retroed in the 3 OG colorways of this one, and this one, but now all at the same time. This is the one they're actually retroing on Wednesday. The other 2 colorways are rumored to come out sometime in 2022, but there's a couple things that people need to know before they purchase, just to make sure that they, purchase smartly. So what does the term Restomod mean? Well, a Restomod basically is a term that's used in regards to cars and things of that nature, and it's when they're talking about bringing a car up to date with like newer, more modern tech, but still making the outside look the same. Same thing goes with Nike and their term Protro. Nike has Protros, which are basically just retros. They're the same shoe, but they've changed the tech inside the shoe in terms of what's being implemented and how it's used. And they've done that for Kobe's line of shoes, for example. So what's different about the Rose 1.5 now that it's getting the Restomod treatment? The difference comes into the cushion that they're using. Like on the Rose 4s that use bounce instead of the original adiaprene crash pad that they had in the heel. They now are using a crash pad of light strike in the heel for the 1.5s instead of the adiaprene that's in here. So pretty much they had adiaprene. It's like, you gotta put something different. But they didn't put bounce in here. Why they did that, I don't know for certain. We can kind of talk and debate about that when I get myself, a pair. I can actually see one for myself in person. But, we could speculate on what that could be. In terms of the other features, I'm not sure if the forefoot also now will have light strike. But it does seem to be just a little bit, thicker. But I can't tell for certain, so there's a chance, but who knows. The thing about the 1.5s and the Pure Motion setup is that it's supposed to give you a lot of court feel. And so if that shoe does indeed have a lot of court feel and you put more cushion there, it can take away some of that court feel, but who knows. I'll be curious to see once I get myself a pair and when I can also play again too, because unfortunately I fractured my ankle here recently. Outside of that, what else have they updated? Nothing else. I mean, that's okay. It's not a big thing. It's not a big deal. It's not the worst thing, but everything else is still the same. And personally, I like that. The upper is still the sprint skin upper. You still have the sprint frame, which a lot of people hated that. I've always liked the sprint frame. It's always been good for me, but my foot isn't super narrow, so I mean, I think people that had like wider feet had the biggest issue with it. If you have a narrow foot, you're fine. My foot isn't super narrow, but it's also not super wide, is what I should have said. So I mean, they do all right. But yeah, so that's what is pretty much being changed only is the cushioning, and so that's cool. But there are a big thing people are curious about with this shoe is sizing, what to do. So I'm gonna give you a rundown of things and basically explain to you what I think you should do. To throw it back to Kick Genius terms, if you wear that 10, get that 10. True to size. Maybe controversial, but now I'm going to explain to you why. So I know for some of you that may sound controversial. Some people are like, well, in the 1.5s I go down half a size, or in most of my Adidas shoes I go down half a size, or in all the Roses I go down half a size, or my Adidas size is always a half a size down from my regular sizes. What's my true to size fit? All these other questions. Well, look, I do have a video plan to come out for you guys that I want to hopefully release tomorrow, but it may be later than that, so I apologize. So I'm going to give you the simple part right now. This is a Brannick device, okay? A Brannick device measures your foot. Wherever your foot measures at on this, get that size. That's all I gotta say. It's simple as that. I'll go into it more in depth later, but I measure at 10, so I'm getting a 10. That's what I'm gonna do. Now, will a 9.5 really kill you? No, the 9.5 isn't bad. But, people's like, well, I hoop in it, will they stretch? They could stretch. But the problem I have with what we've seen so far in the pictures and the images is I can't exactly tell if the toe box is a patent leather toe like what they use on here, or if the toe box is this softer leather that they've used on the previous 1.5 retros they've done. Just for guys to know, this is not a Restomod. This is the just Rose 1.5 retro they did. This shoe has been changed in no way tech feature wise, but it does have some very nice tumbled leather on here, which is good. But it did stretch. I did wear a size 10 of these though, and it wasn't a bad experience. I did experience a little bit of like dead space in the toe ever so slightly, but it wasn't a bad thing. And especially for me, I do wear the speed wrap still when I hoop in these shoes, and so that does take up some extra room. But these shoes were designed with the speed wrap in mind. But regardless of all that, I still say to get a size 10. Just because if the toe box is anywhere close to what it is in these, you'll want to have that 10. And also, I will say, just for the record as well, this is a Rose 1.5. It was my very first pair of D Roses. I still have. As you see, I beat them up very badly. It's one of my favorite colorways that they've ever released too. This was a 9.5. This 9.5 was not bad. I will say, I do remember though that the sprint frame did kind of pinch me a little bit, and that the toe box, it wasn't the most comfortable setup. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the best. So long story short, when I wore other size 10s, like the St. Patrick's Days in a size 10, fine, no big deal. Same with this retro. Fine, no big deal either. My big thing is that this OG pair of the 1.5s is also 10. Not an issue. I will tell you the other reason why I advise against going down half a size on the retro, just because of what you think with the most recent retro, or if Adidas is sizing in the past like couple years. Most of the Roses, as you guys know, I've gone down half a size in, whether it be the 11s, the 10s, the 9s, the 8s, the 7s, or the 6s, and I think even the 5s. Went down half a size. So when they Restomod the Rose 4s, I ended up going down half a size when I got that pair sent to me. I regretted it because the whole reason why there's been no performance review for that shoe is because the size 9.5 was just a little too tight. And the problem with it being a little too tight was that I couldn't really tell if the performance issues I was having with the shoe was due to the sizing or due to the shoe. And I'm saying that the issues I had was due to the sizing, in my opinion. Once I get myself a pair of size 10s, we'll find out. But again, there's the ankle injury to deal with. All that being said, the Son of Shies recently came out. What size did I wear in those? A size 10. I go true to size in those. I don't go down half the size. Again, this goes to the whole thing that people, I feel like everyone that watches my channel has to watch the godfather of sneaker reviews, the True King, Nightwing, Chris, and Jody over at Wear Testers. If you watch the reviews, he talks about the fact that there is no such thing as an Adidas size or your Nike size. Its shoes either fit or they don't fit. They run big or they run small. And that's something too that I've been wanting to try to stress to some of my viewers as well, is that there's no Adidas size. It's just where that shoe runs like. So Son of Shies, for example, true to size. Rose 1.5s, true to size. Actually, Rose 1 through Rose 4, true to size. Even like I have a pair of 2.5s that I have a 9.5 in. They're not horrible, but they're just a little too tight, And I like a snug fit myself, but I rather go with a snug and secure fit that still allows my foot to not feel like it's suffocating, But that's, again, it comes to a difference in how people wear their shoes. So overall, guys, the main thing you need to do is make sure you get the shoe and you're true to size. If you wear a 10, get that 10. And know that the shoe does have light strike in the heel, and that is what makes it a Restomod. What's the price point going to be? From what I've been seeing, the rumors around, looks like it's going to be $150. Fine. But it does come with its own original box, baby. And that is at least something. But again, we're getting a retro coming out of 3 of the best colorways of the Rose 1.5s. The only colorway that's missing from this Restomod of them is the all-white colorway, the All-Star Game colorway, which was very limited, and the one that we got a retro of this previous year, which was the black and red ones with no white toe. So all that being said, y'all, I'm really looking forward to this retro. This, as you guys know, when you see me do a review for it, I list as one of my grails, and it's one of my favorite D Rose shoes that I own. And I finally got this shoe about a year and a half ago, and now they're doing a retro of it, and that's awesome. Best of luck on Wednesday. They do officially drop that day. If I was you and you're looking, check Eastbay, check Adidas, and check Finish Line. Those would be the 3 places I would go to look for this shoe to try to cop it on release day on the 15th. It may not drop that day. If there's anything I've learned in the past couple of years when it comes to these releases, it's that sometimes they just don't release when it says it's going to release, and you just don't know, and you guys got to check every day. But that's okay. Best of luck to you all. May the odds ever be in your favor. Anything that helps with the force for you, whatever you need, take it with you. And I hope you guys have a good time trying to get these shoes. And when you get them, share it with me on Instagram, share it with me here on the channel, Instagram @MVP Turner. And yeah, guys, tune in for my video talking about, figuring out your shoe size, because it's something I wanted to just, put information out there for people to see. And again, not to make anyone feel bad about it. It's not an issue if you don't know. I pretty much am just putting it out there so that people can learn and can know. So until next time, guys, peace. I'll see you around later. Bye. All right, so all the people that stuck around to the end of the video that care for this stuff, you want to know where I've been. Well, I fractured my ankle back at end of October. I was playing in the Son of Shies, unfortunately, and I came down on someone's foot, rolled it really bad, and fractured my ankle. So I'm having to recover from that. That is not the greatest thing in the world to experience, but that's why there's not been a lot of content coming out, and I've also just been swamped with work. Anyone that follows me over on Instagram knows that the other stuff I do full time and can have a peek into my life and the other stuff I have going on. So that's why I haven't been doing anything. I know these shoes are coming out though, and I'm excited about that, and I want to make sure to get you guys some information about this before they come out. Try to help you all out, because I don't know how much longer really we'll get to enjoy the Rose line of things, because still don't really know if we'll ever see a 12 or if the Son of Shy is the last shoe. And I will say, if the Son of Shy is the last shoe, it's a pretty damn decent shoe. And it also is cool to see all these OG colorways from models that we love being put on that silhouette. So, end of the day, you take what you can get. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all for sticking around to the end. And again, I'll see you guys around later. Appreciate y'all. Much love.